Hi there! This module is about situational analysis. It's a short introduction to placing your work in context so you can start doing. When you have an idea or project, it's easy to think it will work well, regardless of the external variables. But context and timing can make or break success. So, you need to manage the situation. Knowing what you're up against is half the battle. When you identify the variables that can present opportunities and barriers, you can lay a good foundation for the challenges you might face. So, where do you start? By asking a few key questions. Imagine that you're excited about the idea of taking your passion for native plants to the next level and sharing your vision with your community by opening a native plant nursery. But you now know that before cutting the gardening tape at a grand opening, you have to ask yourself some questions. Let's start with who. Which relationships and personalities are involved with a native plant nursery? Think about your business partner, Lisa, who runs the table for you at the town farmers markets, and Carlos, the intern who runs your social media campaigns. How does the team work together? What potential problems could arise, and how would they impact the business? This includes interorganizational relationships, too. You're partnering with the university in your town for the upcoming Native Plant Fest, and the relationship you develop with your contacts there will impact your success. Now let's talk about what. What is the purpose of your project and the socio-political context that informs people's opinions about your goals and ideas? You're out to change the world one native plant at a time. You want to educate your community about this and provide them with a place to make better choices for their landscaping, environment, and life. But you want to frame your message in a way that takes any potential conflict into account. Maybe you decide that instead of making people feel guilty or negative about their past plant choices, you can invite them to better your community by making a good choice in the future. Timing is everything is a cliche for a reason. Think about when you will execute your project. This simply could be the time of year. Every region has an ideal planting season. Maybe you decide to open at the beginning of that ideal planting season when people are making choices about what to plant. Or maybe it's better to open a few months before and hold informational sessions to get the word out. Explore the variable of timing before making decisions. Now we need to think about where. How will the physical space, the location, and the cultural expectations of that location affect the outcomes of your project? Where will your nursery be located? How will that area and the culture of that area impact your business? For example, you might decide that you need to open up near your town's community garden to attract your ideal customer base. Now we need to talk about how. This is where the methodology comes in. How will you execute your vision? How will the choices you make impact the outcome of your project? Don't get bogged down in picking white or ivory letterhead. Think in terms of your goals and have a plan for how to get there. Finally, it's important to think through why these things are important. Take some time to think about how each of these variables could influence the outcomes of your project. So now you're done, right? Well, for now. A situational analysis doesn't just happen once. It's important to incorporate new information about the context of your project as you discover it. That way, you're less likely to be surprised by variables shifting. So now it's your turn. Just remember to keep asking questions.